I knew I was gay from the time I could walk almost.
My options at that time in life were I had to grow old with a man.
I knew it. But I've had to hide it all that time.
I did not feel I had an option. And I certainly wasn't out, even to myself, when I was married.
Being gay in Canada was a criminal offense until 1969. You could be arrested for being gay. You wouldn't have to do anything.
I think that younger people don't understand what it was like, because I remember talking to someone not so long ago, and they were saying, "So can I ask, why did it take you so long to get married?" And we're going, because it wasn't legal.
Yeah.
And they were quite shocked that they lived in a province where up until 20 years ago, it wasn't legal to get married. If you were in love and in a committed relationship with someone of the same sex.
How did you meet your partner?
Through a wedding.
I met my partner at work.
Charles was a friend on the bride's side.
And she walked in the office, and I can't even explain it. It was just, from the moment we locked eyes, there was this energy.
I looked in her eyes in church, and I said to my friend, "Oh, geez, I'm in trouble now."
So the wedding was in mid-August. Right after Labor Day weekend, I get a call from Charles. "Would you like to go out for dinner?" And basically, that's how it all started.
Every time I met her, I just have this feeling that I'd never felt before. But she was in a relationship, and, I wasn't touching that at the time. So eventually her relationship was over. We just connected, basically. Once I found out that her relationship was over, we were a couple within a week, I think. You know what they say, lesbians, on the second date they bring a moving van.
We met at work.
Both of us were at the same dance together, which was the Mad Dance, middle-aged dykes.
And this cranky woman walked in who was so mouthy. And I'm like, oh, I so have to chat with her. She's hilarious.
It was Pride weekend, June 21st, 1997.
I can't even explain it. You meet somebody and just the love and the feeling you have inside of you. It's different than anything I'd ever felt before.
I saw Rochelle and I thought she was the cutest little thing I'd ever seen. I still think she's the cutest little thing I've ever seen. I remember talking to my friend at the table and I said, I'm not good at this. What am I supposed to do? I said, that Rochelle, she's so cute. And she says, you go and you ask her to dance. So what I did was I crossed a crowded room, just like in an old movie, and there was a fast song that was playing. And just as I got to her and I asked her to dance, and she said yes, and we stood up, it turned into a slow dance, and the slow dance was, "You've lost that loving feeling." So our song is "You've Lost That Loving Feeling."
Which we did play at the wedding.
Which we played at the wedding too.
Do you remember your first date with each other?
The night I invited her to dinner at my apartment, and I know she's fussy about views, and I had a low balcony in the apartment building it overlooked the backyard of the building.
And the garbage.
So I made sure I threw blankets over the banister so that she couldn't see. And I cooked salmon and rice so she could enjoy the dinner without having to see the view she didn't like.
Lisa hated walking, as I found out much later. So at the time I was doing the Weekend to End Breast Cancer, which is a 60-kilometer walk.
So that impressed her no end. So it was a go after that because I'd made the effort.
Next thing I know, she joined my team to walk 60 kilometers. And she trained with us and she worked hard and she did the walk. And I found out much later that she hates walking. And I thought that was just hysterical that she would do all that just to win my heart. And that was at a time when she was still in another relationship trying to get out of it. And we were friends, I guess, at that point before we became a couple. It was just a funny story, but it was also a touching story that somebody would go that far to be with you.
That's definitely love.
Yeah, that's love for sure. I don't know if I'd do that for, no, I'm just kidding. I do it for her, but nobody else.
It was also new. I couldn't eat in front of her. You thought I enjoyed that meal? No. I just moved the food around my place. I was too shy. I was really, really shy. I had nothing to talk to you about. I didn't, it was hard for me.
Yeah, things have changed.
I had never been in a relationship with another man.
You had to be very confident within yourself to come out, even to yourself.
And I didn't know what the rules were, what you were supposed to do, how you were to react.
We just, would go occasionally out for dinner, that sort of thing.
And Peter made it very easy. He was affectionate, and I think he was understanding, knowing where I came from. I got married when I was 24 and had a wonderful marriage, wonderful wife, until cancer took her. For 5 years, I went into a horrible spiral of grief and guilt. And it wasn't until I met Peter that I finally got out of that and realized, your life has changed and you've changed, and do what you want to do.
It took about 3 years of this kind of dating that we finally sat down, and Charles was always the one that would bring things out.
And I'll be forever thankful and grateful for Peter's affection and loyalty and encouragement, even though I'm an old man.
Finally, we came out to each other. We just took it slowly, and of course, couldn't tell family. So we just would go out together and stayed hidden for many years.
So when you first heard that the law on same-sex marriage in Canada had changed, what were your first reactions?
Hooray, we won!
Yay! We beat the government!
Yeah.
We were so happy.
So she calls me at the daycare where I was working at the time, and I'm, surrounded by rugrats. She says, Brent wants to know if we'll go first. She's like, sure, why not? Click.
We were picked up by a security detail in a big Yukon, and about every 2 or 3 minutes, ETA, 10 minutes.
Talking
ETA,
into his wrist.
Talking into his wrist the whole time.
Driving around the
right?
neighborhood.
And then when we got to the church, they opened up the door for us. So we got out, and there was a whole lineup of police officers from the sidewalk all the way to the door of the church.
Congratulating us,
as
but
we
they were there
walked.
for security.
They were there for security. We didn't know that there was a bomb scare. We weren't told about
Yeah,
it.
thank goodness.
They didn't want us to freak out, of course.
I remember when
Yeah.
we first walked into the sanctuary from being in the basement, those 1,000 people just all stood up and applauded. It was
Yeah.
like, wow!
Yeah.
The roar, it was
Yeah,
incredible.
it was amazing.
There was a line, and then there was all these photographers. Like they said later, it was like 70 or 80 media
70
groups
or 80.
from around the world. We were the first lesbian couple to get legally married in the world, not just Canada. There we are together.
Why was it important for you and Charles to get married?
To be counted.
I think it was the acceptance of the situation that we loved each other. And that was the reason, I think. Well, not I think, I know.
That's an easy one. Love.
It's an age thing, isn't it? As we get older, that we need to have that security if we're hospitalized or anything like that. Yeah. Yeah, that was why. It was so that we would assure as we get older that we'll be in the same room in the nursing home in Vegas, right, babes? That's there.
Oh, yes, our wedding album. We haven't seen it in a long time.
I know. Our little princess.
When did you two get married?
We got married in, oh, go ahead. You're much better at remembering than I am.
Yes, September the 24th, 2004.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The year after the law changed.
Mm-hmm.
The ruling was June. We got married the next month, July the 25th, 2003. So it would have been 20 years this year that we would have been married.
We got married on our 24th anniversary on the 17th of July this year.
We said our vows and we were all very solemn and serious. And you know, she did the vows first and put the ring on my finger. And then I did my vows and I tried to put the ring on her finger and I couldn't get it on. And I was fumbling and I'm trying to get the ring on her finger and then she starts helping me. And yeah, everybody just burst out laughing. I remember after the ceremony, there was a round of applause. People got up and started cheering. I was like, is this a wedding? It's kind of weird. And then after that, we had a big party in the other area of the site. And we had, it was July, so we had slushy drinks. We had a caricature artist. It wasn't your typical wedding, but we thought, there was no handbook for lesbian weddings at that point. I was in my own community. I was with the people I love. I was with the person I love. Couldn't have asked for a better day.
What Anne's mom said to me was, we were visiting her parents in Kingston. And what she said is, Elaine, I don't agree what you're doing, but you make Anne happy.
Actually, we didn't tell our relatives that we were getting married. We just did it.
The only ones that knew were friends.
Yeah, not relatives.
No relatives.
I mean, some people say, well, it's a certificate. You don't need to have a certificate to validate your love. Well, if you're heterosexual, you sure in the hell don't. But if you're gay, you do.
So Rochelle and I were with my mother, and we were in the emerge, and the doctor comes in, and he assumes that we are sisters. I don't correct him, and because I don't want them to throw Rochelle out. I needed her support.
Yeah.
And my mother loved Rochelle, and so they were trying to determine how aware she was of what was going on around her. And so they said, and do you know who this woman is? And she said, yes, that's my daughter Barb. And then my heart almost stopped. I went, oh my God, they're going to ask, who is this woman? Which is exactly what had happened. And my mother, bless her, said, she's our precious angel. And I just went, right on, Mom. You said the right thing. And he went, okay. Like he accepted that she was the daughter, right?
You're not seen at that same level plane. Gay love has never been equal to heterosexual love. And now it is. At least legally, nobody can say they can't say that I was not married. And that became important. When Charles got sick, we're only talking a year and a half ago. Do you know that some of the hospitals still didn't see me as legal spouse, or certainly didn't give me the same rights? I couldn't go visit him in the emergency. They wouldn't let me through.
It never even occurred to me that I could lose her. That was the sad part. I just thought we would be together forever. And sadly, on November 25th, 2018, she had a massive heart attack and passed away. And I didn't see that coming at all.
That's what I miss the most. Now that Charles is gone, I miss that I can't say I'm married.
I think the more people see how it's really no different. Like, I mean, even our story, we met at a dance. How many people say, I met my husband at a dance? It's just no different, in a lot of respects. So to not have that right was very keenly felt.
Yeah.
So about a year later, a fellow from Russia came to the church service, and so we got to meet him afterwards. And he said, because he saw it on the news on his computer on the other side of the world, he didn't kill himself.
Yeah.
It gave him some hope that there was worth continuing. It's like, okay, this is why we did it. It gives everybody hope.
Yeah. And every time another country or a state in the U.S. sanctions same-sex marriage, I always say, look what we did. Look what we did. We did that.
We've become an old married couple like any other old married couple.
Yeah, we got boring. That was a big secret in, like I don't think the straight world knew secretly that lots of gay people are really dull, and maybe same-sex marriage kind of brought that out. Like, yeah, we both get up in the morning, we go to work, we pay taxes, lots of our friends raise children, we raise a cat. We're just like the boring old straight couples. It's kind of sad.
We like to think we're glamorous, but I kind of
so aren't.
think that we're not really.
We're kind of dull, but that's okay. We've earned it.
We're not the same people we were 22 years ago. We've gone through so many changes.
Yeah.
Like the love is a lot stronger and deeper. And like we've buried my mom and my dad since we've been married, and we've lost a lot of friends over the years, and it's we've had ups and downs, because life happens, life shows up. But the thing is, we lean on each other when that happens. Like she's my rock, and she keeps me grounded.
It's a leap of faith, I think, when
Yes.
people get married.
And I thank your ex-husband every day.
I know. Ursula says she thanks him every day that he's gone. But I think that, for me, when I met someone that I wanted to spend my time with, I wanted to spend my time with him. I didn't want to spend my time working all the time. And I think that's what the difference is,
In 50 years, we might have had 2 fights. We could disagree, but we never disagreed to the point where it got serious, because we were totally different in terms of personalities. He was your typical Aquarian, and I'm typical Capricorn. Now we shouldn't mix, but the old cliche, opposites attract, and I think that's the thing. I was very lucky to have him for 50 years, and yet he died young.
I'm still married to my wife. I still consider myself married. I don't know if I'll ever find somebody else, but I know I never say never in this world because it's so unpredictable. I still miss her every day. I think about her every day. I wouldn't ever want to leave this house because she is such a big part of this house still. I made her a wedding ring similar to mine. Or engagement ring, I guess. And then this was her mom's wedding ring and my mom's wedding ring.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that crazy how close they were? She hangs out over there mostly, actually. And I know that because all of a sudden he'll lift his head and look over there, and it's always like where the coats are. So in my mind, I think that's where she is, looking after us and looking out for us.
You can find your soulmate.
I think we're a happy couple.
Yeah.
I think we're a loving couple. I love you.
Yes,
I
my
love the
friend.
bones
Yeah,
off you. Honest to
yeah,
God, I
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Not all the time. No.
You are so bad. You are so bad.
I'm sorry.
You can't trust a woman after all these years. You would think.
Hey,
Want a treat? Of course you want a treat. Of course you want a treat. Want a twirl? Other way. He's not much for tricks.
You pull enough funny faces for both of us.
Me, Pa? Good girl. Good girl. I'll give you a treat for that.
This is our son, Pumpkin. Our little boy, Pumpkin.
he's gonna fall asleep.
And then here we are in Tux.
So it was Lisa loves Colleen. So it was a constant battle. So I'd show up and I'd go, no, Colleen loves Lisa. And we go back and forth. But the very last time it was changed with, Lisa changed it and it was like that. So it's gonna stay like that. Lisa loves Colleen.